You're like a daydream, my love, lost in a haze that we brought. I can't complain, no, it's all intoxicating. No one can see where I've gone, just wanna phase into the fog. I can't replace what is lost when suffocating in the haze.
Ro.8 TV ASL Season 6. Today's matchup: Mini, Hyunjae, Protoss, Flash, Youngho, Terran. ASL Season 6, Round 8, Match 4.
Did our intro just say refight? Refight. Refight. Fight again. Yes. Rematch, I believe. Okay. Welcome to the ASL. We've got a kick-ass night for you tonight. Mini versus Flash. A lot of people saying Flash is going to dominate. He's going to come out of this no matter what. Very fair assumption. But Mini is pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's a very strong Protoss player and very strong at
have an
PvT.
upset.
Well, he's got the type of style, right? So there's basically three Protosses that are at the top of the world in this matchup.
I want to hear this.
Right? So there's Rain, who just plays a very clean, awesome game.
Yeah.
There's Snow, who's very good specifically with things like Reavers and Carriers are a good transition from him from there. And then you have Mini, who plays very abusively and has a big variety of weird things he can do.
Yeah. And this is a matchup, TVP, where the Terran can be exploited early on. Terran needs to basically set up all the pieces, get them in the right place. The Protoss, especially this Protoss, is going to be there to knock those pieces off the board.
Indeed.
This is, of course, the last match in the round of 8. After this, we'll have cemented our final 4 players. Right now, our 3 players that we have here in the final 4 is last, who will be facing off against Effort, And then the winner of this match plays a shuttle.
Yeah, and whoever wins here definitely is favored against shuttle. And then, you know, whatever happens in the finals, that's going to be crazy and awesome. So this has been a lot of fun. Don't forget the top 4 is such an important spot. It's like almost as important as winning the whole thing, because you get to see.
변현재스럽게 풀어나갑니다. 변현의 선수가 이뤄냈어요.
저번 시즌 4강 같지만 이번 시즌 뭐 결승까지 갈 수 있다라고 생각했거든요.
Mini.
결국 연속 우승을 노리고 프로토스에게 5전째 승부에서 한 번도 안 졌었던 이영호 선수. 탱크 한두 개 잡아서는 이거 변현재 받쳐줬고 거기.
다시 독하게 대회 모드로 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 이제부터 시작이니까.
Flash.
변현재 선수는 시대자의 그 명성을 좀 지켜내면서 옥상대 성공 8강 진출이 이뤄냅니다.
ASL Season 6.
Okay, we're moments away from starting our match. First, we will have an interview with our 2 players and see what they're
TV는
thinking.
역시
Then we'll
넘버원
jump right into
올레TV,
this.
올레TV와 함께하는 ASL 시즌6 이 마지막 남은 4강의 한 자리를 자신의 이름으로 채우기 위해 나서는 2명의 선수
It's,
만나보겠습니다.
Younggun says it's time to find the
2연속
last
4강 진출에
finalist, or the
도전하는
last of the
변현재
final
선수
4.
그리고 ASL
Today
3회
is
우승에
Mini
빛나는
versus
이영호
Flash.
선수입니다. 안녕하세요.
Having 2 consecutive
여기서
semifinals is
안녕하세요.
Mini, and 3 ASL championships is
변현재
Flash.
선수.
Hello, all around.
대진이 이렇게 만들어졌습니다.
So, starting with you, Minnie.
지난번 경기가 끝나고 저와 인터뷰를 나누셨을 때 이영호
You're going up
선수가
against
2위로
Flash?
진출해서 본인을 만나는
Last time I
경우에서만
had a
없었으면
winner's interview with
좋겠다라고 얘기를
me,
했는데
you mentioned
실현이
that
되고 말았네요.
you were hoping
대진
to
어떻게
avoid
생각하세요?
Flash.
근데 어차피
Now you're here
우승하려면
facing him. What are your thoughts?
만날 거라고 이제 생각하고 있었거든요. 이제 미리 만나서 좀 이긴다면 이제 뭐 4강이나
Well, if you got to become a champion, you're going to have to beat him one way or another.
않을까 싶어요.
So if I can beat
변현재
him now,
선수도 변현재 선수지만
I'm
이영호
sure I'm
선수도
going to show
이번
even
대진
better
좀 아쉬움이
performance in
남을
the
것
semifinals and
같아요.
finals as well.
매번
Over
8강에서
to you,
이렇게
Flash.
마지막 조에 선택이 되시네요.
You must have been disappointed after not coming out on top in the last ASL.
그래서 뭐
And of course, you
많이 해봐서 익숙하고 마지막 조가
you mentioned that you always want to have
않은데
early games versus last games.
워낙에 경기력은 좋은 것 같아서
He says, I'm familiar with this situation. Frankly, I think this bracket is pretty
8강을
tough.
앞두고 있는
Minnie's a good player, but I'm still confident I can win.
동기부여가 될 만한 점들이 있습니다. 먼저
So those two
변현재
have
선수 이 김윤중 선수가 4강
expressed their own desires to go forward into the final
변현재 선수가 4강에
4.
올라오면 좋겠고 그러면
Shuttle had
결승에
mentioned,
진출해도 정말 진심으로
when he gets to the
축하해 줄 수가
semifinals,
있다. 하지만 그럴 가능성은
He would prefer to have you
1%도
advance. He's more confident in a
없다라는
PvP
얘기를
against you than a
저에게
PvT against
전했습니다.
Flash.
이 말에 대해서 변현재 선수 좀 어떻게 생각하시나요?
How do you feel having Shuttle
솔직히 저보다
showing preference to face you?
제가 1%도 없으면 그 형 그냥 0%예요.
아, 이영호 선수를 4강에서
Yeah, Shuttle said only
만나게
1%
된다면요.
chance to win against Flash.
간절하게 뭐 응원해.
But let me put it like this: he has 0% chance to win
변현재
against
선수
Flash.
같은 경우에는 현재 살아있는 선수 중에
So hopefully
유일하게
he's-
우승 경력이
hopefully he's cheering for me pretty hard today.
그래서 오늘 경기를 통해서 본인의 이름을 좀 확실하게 알릴 수
So
있지
when we look to
않을까
players submitted to the
그런
semifinals,
기회가 되지 않을까 하는 생각도 들거든요. 어떠세요?
네, 일단 영호
You're
형을
the only player who
만난
hasn't had any
이유가
championship
만약에
achievements.
오늘
That must
이긴다면
bother
이제
you.
좀 대회에서
Does that give you more
긴장하는
motivation
것도
today?
없어지고 좀더 잘할
So
수
if I'm
있지
able to defeat
않을까
Flash
그런
today,
생각이 들어요.
I think I've
이영호
overcome a huge
선수도
hurdle
바로 지난
in my professional
시즌이었죠.
gaming
이
career.
무대 8강 무대에서
And I will gain a lot of confidence from that.
강윤철이라는 프로토스에게
So
무너졌습니다.
Flash, last season,
오늘 또 이렇게 8강 무대에서 변현재라는 강력한 프로토스를
You
만나게
lost to
됐었고요.
another Protoss,
4강에
Snow,
진출한다고 하더라도
defeating
김윤중
you.
선수라는 또 프로토스가 기다리고 있습니다. 이런 구도에 대해서는
once again,
본인은
you're
어떻게
being challenged by
생각하시나요?
another top-tier Protoss.
뭐 토스
Are you still confident you can make it to the semifinals, even if there's another Protoss waiting for you ahead?
뭐 언제는
beating Protoss after Protoss to get to the finals.
언제도 그래서
I wouldn't say that's going to be easy for me.
저번 시즌은
But
솔직히 자신 많이 없었어요. 연습
Like I said, to make it to the finals, whoever you're facing, you're going to have to beat everybody on your way, right?
많이 올라와 있기 때문에 자신
Sure, I've
있습니다.
had a recent loss against a
자신감이 굉장히 지금
in PDT,
차올라 계신데 사실
but I'm still
변현재
confident that I
선수가
can do fine today
프로토스의
and in the
수장이라고
semifinals.
일컬어지잖아요.
네.
그만큼
Minnie
많은
also,
선수들이
excuse me, is
변현재
also
선수와의
known for having
경기를
an
좀
unorthodox
까다로워하고
style.
이겨도 이긴 것
He's
같지
quite
않고 저도 뭔가
unpredictable.
기분이 이상하다라는 얘기를 입을 모아서 하는데
Many
이 부분에
players
대한
say that
대비는 좀 어떻게
If
철저하게
they,
준비가
even when they
되셨나요?
beat Minnie, it doesn't even
현재
feel like a
진짜
normal win.
까다롭고 저도 사실
Did you
만나고
prepare
싶은
against his
선수는
obtuse
아니에요.
style?
까다롭고 인정도 많이 하는 선수인데
I'll
항상 제
definitely
마인드 자체가
admit he's a hard player to
제가
deal with.
싫어하는 만큼 상대는 나보다 더 싫어한다는
Minnie is not the
마인드이기
ideal
때문에
opponent for me to
뭐
face
그런
off
마인드로
against
하면
with my style.
되지 않을까 싶네요. 네.
아, 역시
But
우승을 여러
just
번
bearing that in
해본
mind,
선수만이 가질 수 있는 여유가
I still
느껴지는데요.
intend to not be
변현재
defeated by anybody.
선수는 본인이 가진 강점을 토대로 오늘 이영호 선수를 최대한 좀 까다롭게 만들어 주셔야 할 것 같습니다.
Minnie, with that
전략적인
strength
부분
that you
충분히
have.
준비가 되셨나요?
네, 일단은 준비는 했는데 이제 그 모습을 그대로
That must,
그려나가야 될 것 같아요.
excuse me, are you ready?
생각하고 있는 모습을
Yes, I'm
그대로
ready. I've
그려
prepared a lot.
나가겠다라고 말씀하셨습니다.
I just have to
자, 그럼
execute what I've,
마지막으로
prepped.
8강에 임하는 각오를 들어보겠습니다. 변현재 선수부터
Before
들어볼까요?
we start the games,
일단은
anything you want to
지금
say?
제일 잘하는 선수인 만큼 영호 형이 이제
So
저도
far,
이제 좋은 모습 보여드려서 이제 좋은 경기력
this
보여드리고
is the most top tier
자,
opponent that I have to
이영호
face
선수의
off
각오도
against him.
들어볼게요.
네,
It's an honor, and I'm going to do my best in this match.
대회
Over to you,
하나하나
Flash. Anything you want
소중하게
to say?
생각하면서 나가고 있고
Well, these
대구에서
days I
정말 열심히 하고 있기 때문에
really count every
그래도
tournament
질 수도
as
있지만
valuable
절대
and a moment that I
포기하지
can't
않을 거고요.
afford to
이기는
lose.
이기는 대로 또 우승할 거고.
There's always a
많이
chance that I
응원해줬으면
could be
좋겠습니다.
defeated.
네, 두
But
선수
whatever
모두
happens,
오늘 멋진
I'm
경기
gonna show my best.
기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다. 고맙습니다.
All right, thank you both of you. That does it.
변현재
Thank you,
선수와
Artosis.
이영호
You're
선수의
welcome,
8강
Tasis. I'm glad to help
4강의
out.
마지막
Yeah.
진출자가
Good to have
가려지는
you here, man.
시간까지 저와 함께
Happy
끝까지
to
두
be
선수
My
응원해
favorite
주시길
part
바랍니다.
of this phase of the show is watching
지금까지
what you do. While you're just sitting there
Yeah.
thinking about Artosis stuff,
Yeah. Think about Artosis things.
what BSDTs are, whatever goes on in your mind.
By the way, the vetoes, just real quick. Circuit
Yeah.
Breaker vetoed by Minnie, and Neo Transistor, no big surprise, vetoed by Flash.
For sure.
So Sylphid will be our first and last map.
Sylphid, our 3-player map.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to what the game's gonna look like on Circuit Breakers. I'm imagining that Flash will crush there. Really, Flash is it's almost impossible to imagine him losing a late game PvT. Or TVP, I
Well,
guess.
something has to go wrong in the early
Yeah.
game for him to lose the late game.
He's
I
just-
think that's what you're looking
He's
for here.
so good
Yeah.
once he's gotten all the pieces, and he so rarely dies to cheese. But
Yeah.
Minnie and a lot of these new age Protosses have shown some really dirty tricks to take down these turtling Terrans. Shuttles have never been abused as much as they have lately.
Oh, absolutely.
Just making
You're right
sometimes
about
2 or
that.
3 shuttles flying in with everything, dropping them right on the tanks. Minnie's a very active player early in PvT. Traditionally, over the 2 decades that we've had in StarCraft 1, the majority of that time, it's been marked with Protosses basically saying you can't, there's a limit to harassing a Terran. Eventually they'll have the turrets and the tanks, maybe even a bunker set up to defend, and you have to back off. The New Age Protosses say, no. We just keep making shuttles.
Yeah.
We just keep looking for a weakness. The moment we crack them inside their main, we'll run into the expansion. So Flash has to be ready for anything and everything. And it is not, even for Flash, it's not easy to hold off all the different types of attacks that a Protoss can come up with early on.
No, there's a lot of small mind games that will be played here. I'll try to walk through each of them as they come up if possible. But yeah, it's going to be a lot about Minnie trying to snag an advantage early on. That should be the entire series, basically.
I agree.
Some sort of advantage, whether that's damage to Flash or something greedy himself.
Phantom of the Opera. All right.
It's a great song
Yeah.
for him.
I feel like he should have the mask on. Who is he? Oh, it's his ID right there. It's Minnie. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, Artosis. I think Minnie is going to try to come in there and cut the Achilles heel
Yeah.
of Flash. If Minnie goes for a macro game, I am shocked.
You can go for a macro game if you had a greedy opening that didn't get punished, right? That's the one point where even Flash is going to have a hard time, because if you do get a sizable advantage at that point,
Yeah.
that becomes a difficult game for Terran as well. I think he's going to be more aggressive than greedy, but one or the other. I don't think we'll just see very standard play out of him unless he is predicted to cheese out of Flash on a certain match.
This is the classic Flash song. I actually love this song to play StarCraft 2, Electric Romeo.
Yeah.
Look, guys, I want to point something out. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could. If Flash loses here, suddenly he has a problem matchup. If Snow, who took him out before, and then he loses to Mini. That's crazy. That's huge.
Yeah, this is the one matchup that he loses more than other matchups, and that's even if you watch his stream and things like that. But that's kind of the way that things generally are, right? There's kind of a circle in StarCraft where even if all your matchups are about the same power, there's going to be one race that you lose a bit more to, and that's generally going to be...
Yeah, it's usually Protosses tend to beat Terrans a little bit more. Terrans tend to beat Zergs a little bit more. Zergs tend to beat Protosses a little bit more, but it's not any kind of imbalanced matchup or anything like that. It's just there are tricky features, and this game is still being unpacked and still being figured out. I mean, the fact that we're having Protosses come in here and continue to break Terrans early on with this new stuff is really cool for me to see.
Sure.
Because, we thought the whole early mid-game had been so mapped out. So,
and for me, it's always fun to watch Flash hold things that no other Terran literally on Earth can hold, including last. So maybe we'll see some of that today. But you know what? He's got to bring his A game, that's for sure. Mini is super dangerous.
There are many different cheeses that can be done depending on how many starting locations there are on the map. The Silphid's a little bit weird because it is a 3-player map, so I'm very curious to see what Mini's going to do. Reavers are trending heavily in the early game through the mid game in PvT. They definitely have a more of a pronounced place in the game. So let's see what Flash does to adjust for that as we now go into game number 1 on Silphid.
Now playing on Silphid.
Man, I'm excited about this. Got Flash up at the top, Mini over on the bottom right. So positionally, this is pretty good for Flash. It's not a big difference, but he doesn't have the back of his main towards Mini, so that's nice. Now, what will they end up opening with? You always got to kind of think about this, right? Is there any possibility of proxy gateway? That's going to be one of the first things you might see. I mean, Terran could double barracks in the center, but that's very rare. Only C has the balls to try that, I think, in this map. Other than that, it's like, will it be a gasless expand from Terran? Will it just be a straight-up expand? Are we going to see any 12 Nexus plays out of Mini? I don't think so. Flash busts those so easily with Marine SCV.
Flash has basically thrown that build out of the meta for the time being. That
especially
used to be
on the
more
smaller
trendy.
maps.
Right.
Like, maybe Circuit Breakers, we could see that.
Yeah.
But this map, like Circuit Breakers and Transistor, I think are the only two maps that could occur on.
4-player maps, or maps where you have a ramp that protects your natural. It's more doable. But I actually think Mini's probably just going to open up with an expand into Reaver.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best standard that you could use against Flash.
Now, I try to not take too much out of these interviews because I know half the pro gamers are not really interested in doing the interview to begin with and want to get it over with and go in the game. But Mini did say if he's executed what he planned, he should be fine. Now, that sounds to me like he's got some very specific attacks coming up here.
Yeah, I think
that are going to try to trip up the Terran. I might be wrong. Again, I don't like reading into those interviews too much.
Yeah. By the way, so what we have here is a gas expand by Flash and a Nexus first from Mini.
Yeah.
Now, let's see what Mini's plan is here. I imagine he's just going to go double gateway behind this, but when Flash scouts this, he does a 4 Marine, like 7-ish SCV and Vulture rally that just kills the Nexus almost every single time.
Yeah, it was thought originally, the theory was basically that the Protoss should be able to hold off the Terran rush. The Terran has sent SCVs and the Terran's losing mining, and ultimately if you hold the rush off, it's very straightforward for the Protoss to come out on top. But Flash's rush is so specific, it's actually putting a lot of the Protoss players, they're starting to question how safe is this build. So now Flash has spotted it. We want to see how does Flash react. Is he going to do what we guessed he was going to do?
Well, I think so. There are 2 different ways that Flash plays against this. We've already talked about the Marine Vulture SCV rush. I think that's probably what he'll do, but Flash, is he making a second Marine? I believe he is, yes. So I do think that that's what he's going to be going for. The other build that Flash does is instant mines and armory.
By the way,
and just contains Protoss.
By the way, some of the players who have played for a long time and haven't seen this done lately might be confused when they see that it's 2 gates right away.
Yeah.
Because the original build was you get like 1 zealot and then you get dragoons out. The rush is so strong that you have to. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, the 2 gates gives you a higher chance of holding it for sure, which is why Mini just blindly went into that.
So already Mini's trying to get rid of this bunker, and it looks like he's chased Flash off.
Yeah,
Flash is going to back up, but the rush is not done yet.
Yeah, that did cost him a lot of minerals, don't forget. This is all planned out by Flash very precisely, right? You start that bunker, if he doesn't attack it, he's in trouble, and if he does, he lost more than 25 minerals right there, so.
And again, if this rush is held, and Mini doesn't take that much damage, Mini is pretty much assured that he should have a huge lead for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, here comes a larger SCV pool.
Yeah, so that's about 6 SCVs, plus he has 1 in the main and 1 here, so it is 7 total for fighting, and notice the time he pulled it. This is all really precise. He generally doesn't pull until he has 4 Marines. And now he has Vultures on the way. We'll see how many Vultures he makes before his add-on, because that's another kind of impactful thing.
SCVs, well controlled with Marines, can beat Zealots.
Absolutely.
SCVs, they just take long enough to kill. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Initial SCV has been picked off.
Oh my god. Flash's micro is second to none, man. His SCV micro specifically is part of his power. And you see this? Those Zealots have done 0. Flash is so far ahead right now. He should be able to bust this.
Yeah. We actually have just too much damage on this one Dragoon.
God. His micro tasteless is unfathomable.
He seems to even know to not move that Marine there. He just basically did it. He's got the bunker up. The Dragoons can't get out and cover this very easily.
He's getting an add-on too, so he's going to go into mines from here almost 100%. A lot of people like to get a siege tank as well to poke the goons, but the Nexus is dead, and now Mini is going into something that is was so predictable that Terrans counter it less now, which is DT.
Right.
Like, people started going Reaver after this happens a lot for a long time because the DTs were so predictable. I think it was part of it, but we're going to see if that works out for him. Now, he's trying to run these units by, but this is Flash, so that's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, there's one that's out on the map.
Yeah, not for long.
Well, the thing is, having the Dragoon out, if he can keep that alive by just running, he can get in the way of the mines, and maybe those mines can get across the map.
Maybe. That's a good point. If he can delay and mess up where the mines are, that is a huge victory for him.
Now, it's still a Protoss. Oh my God. Okay, very good. He actually takes out that mine. He's going to get this mine here as well. Now, this may telegraph that DTs are going to be coming out. You don't normally see a Dragoon be that ambitious with trying to take out mines.
You do get a little bit scared of these mines, to be fair.
You know what? He actually might be able to break this still. The 2 DTs are going to come out, right?
Yeah, he should be starting them very soon. But even the fact that he's not attacking the bunker yet is a tell for Flash, because it means that his range is delayed. Right? So the longer you don't attack the bunker, the more suspicious a Terran becomes. And, like, for instance, when that Zealot walks out, I know it'll only be seconds before the DT, but see this? He's basically figured it out. If you are not hitting him yet, then what are you doing?
He's also going to chase away that one last Dragoon that's still alive. So the Zealot can soak a little bit more mine hits than a Dragoon can.
Okay, Flash knows this is DT 100%
yeah, but this is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I don't really blame Mini for trying, but here we go. Now notice the spacing between the 2 DTs. Yep. Oh my God, he actually just got it.
Yeah. Welcome to the life of Terran.
I know.
Right there.
That is so rare. That happens all the time, Tasteless.
Yeah.
No, that was actually pretty sick because every mine hit is super important.
Yeah, he just needs to make sure he has his detection up. The thing is, he's going to. He has a missile turret already building because, there was enough tells here with no range and everything. Missile turret in this many units, he should be fine. There is the possibility that we see Mini do something crazy like dive on the turret, but with the amount of mines out front here, this is feeling very difficult for Mini at the moment.
Turret is done at the exact right time. Now, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Mini is in such an awful position that the game's going to go on, but I don't imagine that he's going to be able to recover very easily. I think this is going to be a really easy alley-oop from Flash. He gets the right number of units and then attacks out, makes sure he has detection, and the game's over.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways he can play. Like, he can take a third, he can go for a time push. There's all sorts of things, right? And for Mini, what is there? He's taken so much damage. his tech kind of sucks, to be frank. I mean, DTs can be a good unit, but not right in this position.
No, if you have DTs and there's no shuttle or anything like that, and you know, your Robo's been delayed, he's just now getting Dragoon range, this is actually all horrible for the Protoss. And you can't really do much with DTs and nothing else. I mean, a scan will kill you eventually. It might take him a little while, but it's pretty much guaranteed that you're eventually going to fall apart. Now, I don't know. He still has not gotten a Robo. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have not seen a Robo. He added 2 more gates. So he might be... The thing is, I think he should just be going all in from here because you're not ever going to be Flash in a macro game. So he might just do something crazy like a 6-gate speed lot all in, something like that.
To be honest, I think that's actually brilliant if he does do that.
I think it's the
just
best chance.
It's something that is so weird that it could throw the Terran off, but I have to wonder if Flash has already accounted for that. I mean, this is kind of the problem that almost every player in the world has against Flash, and only a handful of players can actually have back and forth games, is that once he gets an edge, it never disappears.
Yeah, it
tends to just start to grow. And
the thing, he knows more about the game than everybody, and he's better mechanically than everybody.
Yeah. So
that is a combination that basically doesn't exist anywhere ever in anything, but it exists for Flash and StarCraft 1. So yeah, it's a tall order for Mini right now.
So you can see he's trying to just eliminate mines, anything that could interfere with his army later on for the fight. But I don't know, man. I mean, what Flash has is already so strong. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, this is, like, I like what Mini's trying to do, right? He's coming out of, like, an area that you might not expect. Flash, though, he has a good set of mines laid around, so he kind of has an idea of where Mini's units can be at. Mini is just skirting around where he thinks mines are because, again, he doesn't have his detection.
Yeah, this is the tricky thing, is he's playing blind. He basically fast nexused, it died, didn't work. Went into DTs, didn't work at all. And now he's trying to skip a bunch of tech and hopefully have enough to hold off this attack. I'm not clear if that's going to work either. Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of scans, right, to take out those DTs.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh. Well, you know, he's made more DTs than I think Flash anticipated here. So that's something that can work out for you if the Terran runs out of scans or something. That could...
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. He'll make one turret there, and he should be more than enough.
Yeah. Well, if he gets a turret up, it becomes nigh impossible.
Okay, another DT taken out. You see these Dragoons trying to edge forward, but before they can even get the shots off, these siege tanks have to rain down so much artillery on them. And we should be seeing the beginning of the end. Now, we have seen Protoss break this before, but it's just hard to imagine. And look at this. Flash is so smart.
Yeah.
Saying, wait a minute, I'm not going to fully commit here. Yeah. Let's back up, actually.
He can look at any situation like this, right, and just say, okay, you know what, I actually don't have that much. If a round of Zealots comes out or something, I'm screwed. So he backs up for the timing. Oh, this Mine Dry could actually be big, though. Oh, that would have been dirty if he had dragged that mine into those tanks. That would be the beginning of some sort of comeback for sure. Look at this.
Okay, I guess he just doesn't have the scans.
Mr. DT doing work.
It's kind of weird to see that Mini actually fed him off all the way. Again, though, there's no Robo. I mean, Protoss is basically playing a blind man's game. Flash has all the... I think it's the best option. I actually agree, Artosis. Flash has complete tech. He's getting upgrades. He's actually going to need a science vessel to eliminate the issue of the DTs moving around the map. And really, the only thing Mini's had going from this time around is that the DTs can slow a push down.
Yeah, and like Mini has played extremely well from this deficit position. Oh man, that dropship is fantastic too. God, because he still doesn't have detection, right?
Right.
And Flash knows where he is and where he isn't, because look at the mines. Just look at the mini-map. The amount of control that Flash has right now, he knows that everything Mini has is in that little area. You know?
Yeah.
And look at this. Oh my God, he's going around with the vultures. Of course, there's no observer to spot this.
Yeah.
And a drop in the main base.
This is an easier way to close it out because Mini skip detection. I mean, we just now see a new Robo over there. So all these mines can be laid down here. And this is like a direct counter to what Mini tried to do. Mini tried to skip this. Now these vultures are coming over here. Behind all this, Flash is still massing up. We'll eventually have a big push come in here. GG.
Well, that was brutal, and I no longer believe Mini that if he does what he prepares, he will win this, because the fact that he went for 12 Nexus, I don't think I have ever seen Flash lose to a 12 Nexus, especially on a small map where if you're like last spot he scouts on circuit breakers, okay, he's probably not going to rush you, but on Sylphid, he's going to scout you right away.
You know, it's weird because honestly, I thought Mini was going to be bringing some new ideas. Now that's just one game, but I think he needs to do a lot better than that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, ultimately, I mean, the later half of the game, that was interesting, but if you want to know what really happened, it was the Nexus on 12 or 13 or whatever.
Yeah, and
was
the
run
micro
over.
Flash was... It's just, Flash's SCV micro is actually one of the big things that sets him apart. You know, he's just like, he blocked the Zelts 100%. They never hit a Marine. If you can't get your Zelts on the Marines, you're done.
No, I mean, it's harder than it looks to control workers like that, but, I mean, Flash just punched right through that, and that means we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in Game 2. Of course, this is a best-of-5, guys. Remember, the winner goes to the semifinals. Anyways, we're going to bring up Game 2 after this short break.
게임 캐릭터들의 독한 하루.
인터뷰는 나중에요. 지금 너무 바빠요.
비지! 슈퍼 비지!
스케줄이 감당이 안 돼요.
오늘만 몇 판째인지 무슨 일이 난 거죠?
KT와 갤럭시 노트9이 만났죠.
4대 인기 게임 스페셜템 받고 게임 데이터까지 무료니까. 게임의 즐거움도 갤럭시 노트9도 역시 KT.
ASL Season 6.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go to Game 2. I don't think we're going to have another quick Nexus, but Fast Nexus actually makes the most sense out of the maps we have on Circuit Breakers. But I think just for how completely and totally that Fast Nexus was shut down in Game 1. I don't think we're going to have any more of that.
Well, if we do see
best
it,
of 5.
Circuit Breakers and Neo Transistor are the maps for it. I was talking to you during the commercial break and Rapid during the commercial break about how, in my opinion, Sylphid's the worst map with the rush distance and the fact that it's 3 spots, so you just get scouted very quickly no matter what.
I don't know. I don't know why he did that.
I thought
this was going to be a close series, and after Game 1, I'm actually really worried this is going to be a 3-0.
Yeah,
I really want. There's always the chance that we have short days. I don't want this to be a short day, but
I just think that's the worst build.
This is not a new thing. Is Protoss is getting owned if they fast expand, like Quick Nexus against Flash. So,
yeah, 12 Nexus.
I'm really surprised that we saw that.
I don't know. I just feel like if you do your homework, you just see Flash pulling SCVs and Marines and never losing to it. But
yeah,
whatever. We'll see what else Mini has planned here tonight.
Whoa, Flash is like falling over. All right, he's okay. Oh, he's falling over there now. Flash is like, I got to get out of here. I got to hurry up and get to the semifinals. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
The thing is, Tasteless, that his brain is basically the mass of a black hole because he's so smart. So the gravity was actually pulling him towards the Earth there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's so strong that he can sit up normally. But when he's off camera, he just lets himself rest a bit.
He lets his giant head rest.
Yeah.
I wonder how Mini's feeling. I mean, that's a pretty... frankly, a pretty brutal way to lose. Oh, not only did the Nexus get shut down, but then you have to play this humiliating, risky game of skipping Robo to just try to stay in the game. And Flash smashes you so easily.
These Protosses that go 12 Nexus, and then they see it, and they start to get all micro, and they're like, I still want to lose all my probes. Excuse me, sir. Will you kill all my probes for me that are at my natural? And the Terran's like, I guess so. And then it's like, okay, how are you going to recover? You're not. It's not going to happen against a good Terran player, so I don't know, man.
I don't know, dude.
I'm unenthused with that first game.
All right, guys, we're going to go to Circuit Breakers. This is a 4-player map, so, usually lends itself to a macro game. There's a lot of places that Protoss can expand to. Terran can get a 4th base. A little bit more easy than there on some other maps out there.
It's almost free.
Yeah, pretty much.
Put it in the right terms, Stasis. The 4th base is easy peasy.
It's easy mode, man. So this might be our longest, most epic game, but you never know, man. Protosses can do these dirty tricks early on and force the Terran to play to their own game.
You can play a big macro game here, too. There's so many bases to take. But
for sure.
Let's see what Mini's choice is. I'm not sure.
Now playing on Circuit Breakers.
All right. Mini in the bottom right. And a Flash in the bottom left.
This actually changes things slightly because they're both sharing the bottom expansion.
Yeah, and in cases
bottom center, I should say.
That's right. You're less likely to see Terran take that as the 4th base just because it is so close to Protoss. A lot of times Terran will just play off of 3 bases in this spot. And to be honest, that's kind of like a slightly new meta for Circuit Breakers anyways. Like Flash does a lot of 3-base play here and takes the 4th while he's attacking.
Is Circuit Breakers the oldest map we use now in ASL?
Yes, it is.
What's your take on Circuit Breakers?
I think it's a really good map. Just it's a very, very good map.
I'm just going to say it. I'm over it.
Okay, so compared to Fighting Spirit, how do you feel about it?
I actually like Fighting Spirit more.
You like?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're a Protoss player. That's why.
That's
because
exactly why.
It's the biggest Protoss map ever made. But I can see that. I can see your point of view as a Protoss player. But other than the hardness of PvZ here, I think this is just straight up a better map than Fighting Spirit.
I hate playing Zergs in this map. This map's a nightmare for me.
I would give just about anything just to have Fighting Spirit no longer exist. But
well, the Fighting Spirit's got its own problems. So you asked me which I prefer. To be honest with you, I would prefer to have Fighting Spirit, but Fighting Spirit's also just too old,
Yeah.
It's essential to the vitality of an RTS to have lots of different maps.
Indeed.
That's when the strategies start to change. That's when the races have to tinker with new ideas.
Yeah. Now, Taking a look at just what the openers are here. Mini's going to scout Flash last, so that's a little bit unfortunate for him. Flash going for a gasless expansion. So that's a pretty standard play nowadays. Checking that center for a possible proxy gateway. Doesn't see any. And we'll go scouting, but likely to find Mini last here. I doubt that he's going to cross scout after checking top left. But the thing is, when you're going gasless expand, it doesn't matter as much as long as they're not proxy gating you.
What about that proxy robo?
Yeah, that's
wait, let's just say what this is real fast before we get ahead of ourselves. So we saw Snow do this cool strategy where you'd make a robo just outside of their expansion.
Yeah.
And you don't even get a shuttle. You just rush right into a Reaver and blow up the bunker.
Yes.
And then run in with the Dragoons and just win the game. It's one of the most hard countery things I've ever seen.
Well, based on where he put his second pylon, we might see him skip range and throw down a robo at that far away pylon immediately, the one that's towards Flash's base. Because if you go one base Reaver, it has almost the same effect as the proxy Reaver. It's not exact, but you get it there super fast. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to see. Okay, so the thing is the SCV is coming right now. Okay, there's probably range, but this could also be that he knows that there is an SCV coming to his base, and he wants to get rid of it. I think Mini's just going to expand, though.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's going to do either of the things we were talking about, Artosis. Now, hold on. The Zealot and the Probe are going to come forward. Now, note the positioning of the CC, the barracks, and the depot.
Ooh.
The Marines can kind of run behind that. And you can see the Zealot can't quite catch up.
Such swift micro. Just Flash's micro is so crazy. Ooh, Mini getting some sick hits here. Look at that. All right.
Mini's control really good.
Yeah, he really wrecked him on that ramp, man. Like, this is not how much damage that you're supposed to be able to do against Flash's Marines. So
honestly,
great job.
That was just great control. Here is the robo. Okay.
Yeah, so he probably canceled range there. Yeah, based on...
Where did the SCD go that was in the main? Was that just killed off?
The Dragoon that came out. So, this is... it's not completely common, but, like, if the... You know when the SCV's coming, right? Oh, very nice. And, so... You start your range, or you start +1 air attack, whatever.
Yeah.
And as soon as you kill it off, you can go ahead and throw this out. Yeah, it's a little bit later. It's going to be like 20 seconds later than it could have been. But if Terran knows it's coming, then it's not going to be hard to hold.
I think killing off a lot of those Marines is probably central to this strategy. The less Marines that are out, that's fewer targets for the Reaver when it gets over there. Now, keep in mind that because of the long distance, as far as who's going to get expansions up when, Flash economically, if he doesn't take any damage, is just going to get another big lead. That's how this is going to work. But Mini does have a window of opportunity to really try to cripple Flash, and that's what we're waiting to see here.
Yeah, this is exciting too, because Flash's updated style of the gasless expand involves a very early academy as opposed to an early engineering bay.
Yeah.
So for a long time, you'd kind of blindly go into turrets. Right, you get like siege mode, go into turrets, maybe get vultures with speed and mines and stuff off 2 facts. But Flash nowadays just wants to scan you and then go into Goliaths if you're going Reaver. But his armory is going to be super late here, so he's going to have basically 0 anti-air. So I look at this position, and even though Flash has his base up, I think that Mini has a lot of potential to do damage here. A lot.
So we're still waiting here. Dragoons. Oh, this is such a good denial. You basically want to have the map be a dark, scary place for Terran. Protoss doesn't know if you're double expanding or 2-basing into Arbiter, or, for instance, in this case, going for a quick Reaver. Maintaining that ambiguity about what's happening and keeping Terran stuffed into this little quadrant on the map is key.
Now, the Reaver is coming, but he did get the engineering bay. He didn't just go for scanners. So Flash, I mean, just so on top of his game here.
Now, we should note that Reavers are super popular right now in the meta. And this is what's interesting. He's going to actually do a push-up here at the front.
Yeah, he's going to bust that for sure. Here comes that Reaver Scarab. Nailing SCVs.
You can see that the SCVs, there's no... Oh my God!
So good. He has killed so many SCVs here.
This is so crazy. Like, I knew that he was going to do a lot of damage, but you really got to see it back there. That's just insane.
And then he gets the turret as well, which is such a big moment.
What is happening?
Oh, man. Yeah, he's having a hard time getting that to shoot. But look, he got a lot of SCVs with that, okay? His Nexus is super late, so Flash is not out of this game, but this has been successful so far for sure. Oh my god.
Now he can hit the Goliath. Dude, that's so sick. Okay, so in the last 20 years, you would always expect the Reaver to go into the main, but Mini identifies as, no, I could actually come up here and bust the front. It's so strong.
Well, it's such a nice little counter to these gasless expand builds where you get your factory a bit later, you get your siege mode a little bit later. You know, the anti-air here he had turrets up, but you know that's not mobile. They can siege you. If you don't have siege mode, you can't just protect everything as the Terran player. So very well done there by Mini.
It's so funny. If you were the Terran playing that game, you would have called that guy a hacker, just thinking that he would know that he could come in like that. Like, are you serious? You'd have to see everything. But Mini really gets exactly everything the Terran has at every moment and knows how to exploit it.
Yeah. Look at where Mini's going now. He's getting a Stargate immediately. I'm very excited about this. I think it's carriers, right?
I think so. Well, we don't have a Citadel,
didn't see
right?
a Citadel,
so there's no Arbiter tech.
It's going Scout.
One Scout. He's styling on him, man.
Look at that, 17 kills. That's just so crazy.
Oh. So, going carriers after going Reaver can be pretty strong. They kind of complement each other.
Oh, okay, so that scan was a scan on the broad side of the main base. He was looking for tech structures, didn't scan them though, right? So now he might scan for a third base if this... Okay, where was that? Oh, he actually scanned it. He scanned the carriers, okay.
Yeah, seeing 2 Stargates like that.
Yeah, he knows what that is. That is not 2 Stargate carrier this early on.
Now, we got to point out here, just because you know about the carriers doesn't mean you can stop them.
Yeah.
And the way the Protoss is playing now, they combo the carriers with a really healthy ground army. And it's tough. The tanks can stop the ground army, the Goliaths can stop the carriers, but the Protoss ground army stops the Goliaths, and the carriers can stop the tanks. So it's kind of this weird dance. And frankly, there's so many ways to exploit carriers as they move. Someone with good carrier control, even if the Terran knows everything the entire way through, can still struggle against it.
Absolutely the case. It's a difficult thing to do, especially when there's a couple Reavers out, because you're always trying to hit a sharp timing attack against the carriers. Against carriers, you don't just say as Terran, okay, we're bringing this to the long game. You want to get in there and punish immediately before the carriers hit critical mass. But with double Reaver out on the map right now, it's hard to actually push into that. It's a very time-intensive thing to siege, unsiege, move forward against 2 Reavers. 1 or 2 good Scarab shots on a cluster of your army, and you've just lost a lot of the hard work you put in. Every tank and Goliath you lose is going to be very hard to get. Now that unsiege, you can see, God, Flash is so good. Okay, you can see that he's ready. He's ready for a fight. He's right down here. He wants to be able to get in there and deny the third. Now, the trick with the... Okay, this is so smart. Yeah, see, this is the move. Look at that. Goliath dead. That's one Goliath gone. Oh, okay, there's a siege tank on.
That was actually really bad.
Yeah, Mini...
He messed that up.
Mini a little bit off of that.
Oh, man, Mini not happy at all.
Ooh, if that was
just that
snow.
moment where he realizes... Yeah. No, if that was snow, he would have gotten the shots off, picked up, and then done something else.
If that was snow, he would have had shuttle speed too. So
yeah,
would have been
that's actually true. I really do feel like you just want to keep getting shuttles and shuttle speed here.
Well,
it's hard if you're going carriers, anyways. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think he'll skip any more shuttles just because, you know, there's so many Goliaths at this point. He doesn't have anything really to shuttle around.
Now, even though the carriers are out, the interceptors, especially having 8 of them, that's still a long ways away. So this is actually a very appropriate time for Flash to try to come out on the map and strike.
Great positioning by Mini, just getting a little bit of extra damage in there. But this is almost all in from Flash. He really has to get something done with this push. Like reduce this army, reduce the carrier count, something like that. If his army just gets cleared here, then the game is going to go to Mini.
Okay, Flash is coming forward now. He's going to get right over where this bridge area is. Now, 2 carriers, they're not full of interceptors yet, by the way. In fact, they haven't unloaded the interceptors so far, so they can't actually quite come out as quickly as you'd want them to. He's going to try to come through and break this position. Again, so many siege tanks on the low ground. and Mini goes for the counter attack. Now, this is a very smart move against a player who's trying to push you in one of these, these timing pushes.
This is pretty cool.
Oh, hold on. If the Reaver can actually connect with the Goliath and take out enough.
Oh, that was a
Oh,
sick
my God.
hit. Oh, my God. Two very good Reaver hits.
Yeah.
It dies, but, I mean, those were excellent, excellent hits.
Now, Mini's counterattack is completely within line. It makes sense. Mini just needs to get enough carriers to kill off those Goliaths. In fact, I might be wrong. I think he can kill off those Goliaths. There's 2 with like 1 HP.
Yeah, I believe you're right
I don't think he actually knows, but that's what's happening, Artie.
Yeah. Okay, he's unloading his interceptors. I think Mini holds this because that counterattack has stopped the reinforcements.
Well, hold on, man. Hold on. He messed up with those carriers there. Now he has to remake the interceptors. I think Mini actually might lose now.
And you're right. 2 of those Goliaths basically have 1 health left. And he actually pulled those to the back, and Mini has not been able to kill them off. And now the mass turret, like, Flash has done it again, man.
If you kill the natural, then the carrier game is just done.
Yeah, you don't have the
Even
money
if
to
Terran just stays on 2 base for a long time, he's just too good. I have to say, I think Mini actually could have had a winning game here.
Absolutely.
He messed up with the Reavers.
Yes.
Even then, I thought the counterattack was good at bot time, and I thought he could have killed off those Goliaths. Now the math gets a little bit fuzzy here, but yeah, I mean, this goes to show you how clean Flash's play is. Even at the very start of the game, he can just come through and make a series of impeccable decisions.
Yeah. Would you kill 15 SCVs? No problem. I know how to win from here.
Yeah, think about that. Tons of SCVs died early on, and this counter push still just wins the game. Flash makes it look easy.
Looks like he unloads. He elevators down some units. Maybe a little counter push is his last choice here. Flash's push not really going to be denied here in the main base.
Look at this. There's just not enough. He cannot keep those tanks alive. You know, carriers, a lot of times you don't have to kill the carrier themselves if it's early on in the game. You just kill all the interceptors, and there's just not much they can do.
Yeah.
And despite the gasps in our audience, no, this is not going to be able to really do anything.
No, even that Reaver, it doesn't even matter. These Goliaths beat everything there easily.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. We should have GG any second now.
Yeah. Mini trying to get something together here, but
I think he's actually just processing this whole series right now and saying, okay, I got to win 3 games in a row against this guy.
Yeah.
Game 2 definitely looked better than Game 1, though.
Yeah, he had a pretty good opening. I think maybe he was a little bit too greedy with the speed of the carriers. Skipping the shuttle speed definitely cost him. Those Reavers were really crucial in holding off the push.
I think he was too greedy with the Reavers is what happened. You just can't lose the Reavers.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's just nothing.
The thing is, I think if he gets shuttle speed there, he can like play with them a little bit more. But Flash is just like, no, we're killing these Reavers right now, and down they went.
Okay, Mini.
Yeah.
Let's get out of the game, buddy.
Jeez Louise.
Don't mean to be mean here, but I mean, there's just...
Ring King Prime, is that you?
Yeah, I was thinking actually
hey,
the same
Fantasy,
thing.
is that you playing Protoss? Is that...
I mean, this game is really, really, really actually done. There's no way to get out.
If he could float his Nexus across the map, I think he'd do it right now.
Floats right down to that 6 o'clock base, starts trying to make pylons there.
Dude, I think he can hold this.
You know, I think Mini's going to come back, actually.
He's
Is it
got
not
this,
obvious?
Dude. Look at
has
this
a
Reaver with
now.
2 Scarabs.
Yeah, how are you going to stop that?
He's going to clear it. He knows the power of carriers. Come on. Look at that Dragoon just holding position there. That is a manly Dragoon. Look at the damage that Dragoon's putting out, Tasus.
Go.
Oh, damn.
I feel like we're going to zoom in on a Flash now and see that he's made a castle out of a deck of cards while this is all going on. I'm feeling the energy even leave the Korean casters now. Okay, GG.
Okay.
That's what you do when you're dead. You type GG.
Yes.
Crazy good push from Flash. I mean, Mini had such a good start. I do want to highlight, because even though Flash is killing it on every level, dude, that push from Mini at the entrance, hitting the bunker, the SCVs and the tank, and you know, you could see Terrans are so used to being dropped in the main, but it made perfect sense. He completely wiped out that area.
He masked it really well, too. I think that's a big part of it, is he chased the SCV out before he made the robo. He didn't panic or anything, right? He canceled his range. He went into the push, even though it was slightly delayed. Like, it was well done by Mini, no doubt.
All right, well, we are going to be going into Game 3, and I personally am hoping the Flash loses this game. I don't want this to be 3-0.
Yeah, well, it's Neo Transistor coming up next, right? So that is the actual best chance for Mini to take a game. That's a very, very difficult map introduced last season for TVP.
Right.
So it's definitely one that Flash has some builds on, some moves on that he can win with, but this could be a Mini victory.
Okay, guys, we are going to be going to a short break. When we return, Game 3 here, Mini versus Flash. This fight to get that last spot in the semifinals.
끝났습니다. 여러분 뜨거운 박수로 1사 대결의 시작하겠습니다.
일단은 투스타로 돌파구를 좀 마련을 해보고자 하네요.
네. 동일업이 조금 늦다 싶었었는데 비장의 카드를 일단 준비했었네요.
딱 마주쳤을 때 컷의 생존율과
누가요?
스코지
그래도
네 럭커 숫자는 3개밖에 안 되거든요.
들어갑니다.
와, 이걸 들어가요?
네.
그냥 가네요.
이 백업이 조금 늦어요.
머리 위로.
와, 이거 질럿 숫자 이거 몇 개입니까?
백업 하기도 겁나요. 언덕 위로 하이템플러가 다 올라온 상황이고 거기다가 커세어 선수가 이 오버로드를 때리고 있는 이런 상황이기 때문에
추가되는 기회도 오거든요.
예, 여기서 저글링 몇 부대 정도만 있었다면 이 드라군들을 그냥 싹 다 잡아버릴 수 있는 그만큼 좀 프로토스로서도 올라가기 조심스러운 곳인데 진짜 멋있게 잘 뚫어냈습니다.
네, 뭔가 병력 조합도 그렇고
이번 경기 다시 한번 김민중 선수가 승리를 따내면서 2대0을 기록할지 아니면 김성대 선수 따라붙을지 여러분의 뜨거운 박수로 두 번째 세트를 시작하겠습니다.
그런 준비했죠.
네. 확실히 이제 네오 트랜지스터 같은 경우는 확장 위주로 플레이를 하는 경우들이 좀 있기 때문에 그것을 노린 이런 그 빌드를 좀 준비를 했는데 자 오버로드 정찰 방향 정확하고요.
대놓고 이 타이밍 보면
확장이구나라는 것을 오버로드 시야로 확인을 하고 슬쩍 지금은 오버로드를 옆쪽으로 좀 틀어서 입구 쪽에 어떤 식으로 건물 배치되고 있는지까지도 확인을 지금은 할 수 있는 이런 상황이고 세기는 지금 게이트웨이 때리고 나머지는 좁은 골목으로 나오면 프로브 한 대씩 때려주고 이러면 케이스 깨버리면 됩니다.
그럼 이건 노게이트가 되는 거예요.
그렇죠.
질럿 한 기가 나온다 하더라도 그냥 둘러 싸서 잡아버리겠다라는 생각이기도 하고
그렇죠.
오른쪽으로 가긴 했는데 게이트가
노게이트.
자, 입구
이제 게이트가 없어요.
입구를 활짝 열어서 프로브 잡아내고 본진한 쪽으로 난입해서 양쪽으로 뛰어다니기 시작을 하면은
프로브 점사를 굉장히 잘해줬습니다.
그렇죠. 그리고 이제 이 넓은 구역을 지금은 상대가 게이트도 갖고 있지 않은 상태에서 저글링들이 뛰어다닐 수 있기 때문에 저글링을 양쪽으로 나눠서 질럿은 저 오른쪽 저글링 쫓아다녀야 되거든요.
후반에서 승리를 따내면서 2대1 역전 상황을 만들어낼 수 있을지 아니면 김민중 선수가 다시 한번 승리를 따내면서 리드할지 경기를 끝나서 여러분 뜨거운 박수로 세 번째 대결을 시작하겠습니다.
김성대 선수가 본인의 좀 취향에 맞게 부드러운 이번에는 더 강합니다. 깨스까지 스스로 좀 경기를 포기할 수밖에 없는 상황을 만들 수 있는 건데
이거 원의 처리래요. 자 그리고 스파이 연상이 돼야 되는데 커세어가 아직까지 하나 있는데다가 스커지가 있기 때문에 제대로 지금 때리지 못하고 있다가 지금 일단 살렸어요.
자 시간 싸움.
네, 캐논 더 줘야 됩니다. 계속.
하나 더.
네.
자 캐논이 지어지지 못하고 있어요 이쪽은요.
캐논에 대한 뮤탈리스크를 다수 잡아내고 쫓아내면서 다수 잡아내고. 자 커세어 자 뮤탈리스크가 본진한 쪽에 체력이 좀 빠져 있었기 때문에 오는 것처럼 하다가 멀티를 하는 시도를 하니까
기막이 안 됐죠. 자 키리
자 리버 앞쪽에서 받쳐주면서 리버를 살려야 구속타에 안 무너지는데 자 리버 하나 살았습니다 중간에.
리버 하나 살았고.
뮤탈과 코드의 만남.
네. 뮤탈만 여기서 어느 정도 숫자를 줄여놓게 되면 이후에 셔틀 플레이 하는데 좋은데 또 거기 스커지가 딱 있네요. 해처리. 저건 먹으면서 소모전하자 이 얘기를 하고 있습니다. 김성대는.
계속 싸움을 걸고 있는 상황인데 맞으면서
아무래도 저거는 또 이 자원이 늦게 떨어지다 보니까 다섯 군데에서 먹고 있는 저그이고 포커스는 한 군데밖에 없는 거나 마찬가지지 않습니까?
지역변경 이렇게 무너뜨립니까?
네, 저글링이 달려 들어가서 리버 마지막 하나 남은 그 리버도 지금은 잡아냈었던 상황입니다.
자, 이 프로토스가 다른 곳에 신경 쓰게 만들면서 확장을 하겠다라는 건데요.
드라군이 뭐 디팔러가 등장한 이런 그 시점에서 저글링과 플레이그까지 지금 활용을 했고요. 끊임없이 해처리에서 병력 찍어가면서 수비하려고 내려오던 리버도 지금 잡힌 상황이죠.
GG. 다시 확장에서 나오는 이 강력한 힘 앞에
You ever feel like the ASL logo has a bad case of pink eye? What do you think?
One of them for
One
sure,
of them,
yeah.
one of those eyes is infected. Get that checked out.
Well, one of these two players is infected. We're going to have to get him checked out because he is getting destroyed so far. Even with good opener in that last game.
Yeah, to be frank, guys, so far Mini's been getting owned.
Yeah. Whether he's ahead or behind, he's behind.
Yeah, we've seen this story before, but there's a reason why we make him play a best of 5. We want to see, can Mini come back? Please.
Well, I mean, I really hope so. And Near Transistor is truly the map to do it on. And I'm not just saying that. This is the tough map. This is what Flash vetoed. This comes from last season where they're like, let's not have Flash win 10 ASLs in a row. So we went 3, we're skipping 1, and now he's going to win this one. But, like, this map's tough.
It is, it is. You got to keep in mind that the natural is located near the middle. Or if you're on the, what is it, the 9 o'clock spot, it is the middle, basically.
You can't really defend Reavers with turrets. You have to make something like 10 turrets to defend your bases from Reaver.
Yeah, to really have everything covered.
Yeah.
And of course, we've already seen that Mini sometimes is like, that's fine, I'm attacking your main anyways, your natural, excuse me, anyways.
Yeah. And to put that in perspective, on like Fighting Spirit, for instance, you might need 4 turrets. So it's a gigantic difference. 10 turrets is like more than 2 command centers of money. No, it's 750. I'm counting the eBay. Shut up.
Got him, Artosis.
God.
Oh, look at Mini. He's having a bad night.
Yeah, he is.
It's not done yet, Mini. You still have a shot. Flash.
With that look on his face, I don't know if he does have a shot.
Flash is like, I'm going to hold all this Bakari sweat in my mouth, and I'm not going to swallow until I win game 3. Let's go.
Fight.
Now playing on Neo Transistor.
Ooh, cheers on both sides.
Right. So, Mini at the bottom right, Flash at the top right. No one's in that middle spot, so that's kind of cool. This could be a map for fast expansions. And that goes for both sides. You could see a command center first, and you could see a Nexus first. And because of that, you also could see some rush builds or something like that because fast expansions are powerful here. With Flash, I feel like at this point, the thing is, Flash can plan a series however the hell he wants because he's so good. But I feel like at this point, if he just does a solid little timing attack, he's going to be, that's probably...
Well, you also have to keep in mind that he's got 2 wins, right? So one of the interesting things that can happen in best of 5s is that if you won the first 2, you are allowed to try something crazy in game 3.
Yeah.
And, you know, it can be a little bit gamble-y, but if it works, it works, and if not, okay, you still have 2 more games. And on a map like this, where it's basically, it's not desirable for the Terran to map out a huge late game on this map.
No.
It's not, you're not going to have a good time doing that.
The reason for that, guys, is if you get carriers here, they can go from attacking to defending literally in 1 second, whereas Goliaths walking around from defending to then attacking will take like 30 seconds. So the differential is just like you can't catch the carriers. they cannot be caught, so you have to basically kill the Protoss before they can get to that.
So, maybe Flash does do something kind of crazy this time around. Is he going to go for a quick command center here? All right.
Yeah, and this isn't very surprising. Like I was mentioning, the Nexus first and Command Center first. This is a likely map for them. It's hard to rush here. It's a decent map for that because you do have those ramps and everything. You can kind of hold everything pretty easily.
Sure.
That doesn't mean like if he did an SCV drill with Marines, yeah, maybe he breaks him. But there's a higher % chance he won't because you're fighting up a ramp, that type of thing.
This map's funny because we almost never have a map where both your main and the natural are on high ground.
Yeah, it's rare.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
We'll probably see some more maps like this as StarCraft 1 continues to develop.
It's cool to have a map like this because it just dictates a completely different pace of game in every matchup just about.
Yeah.
I guess maybe not ZVZ as much, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I feel you.
Yeah. So he's got this little wall here, and Mini will see the time in the barracks. He knows that there's a command center in there. And as far as Mini, we'll just have to see what type of tech he wants to go into. But, I mean, this is cool, right? Because at least we get into I don't want to say regular, but we're getting into at least a somewhat even mid-game. No one's going to do damage to each other. It's not happening.
Yeah, especially if you both went for Nexus and Command Center, then there's no way to hurt each other. Now, some of you guys watching this, I know that we have people from varying backgrounds of gaming and RTS. Someone might have the question, wait a minute. If Mini just made 2 gateways and rushed Flash, he would win, right? Yeah, probably, but nobody does that.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are so many different builds that Terran could have gone for.
Yeah.
It's not really how you play the matchup. So for those people wondering, like, someone might steal this build and try it online and suddenly die to a rush. And it's like, well.
You play on the ladder, you're going to hit proxy 2 gates sometimes on this map, and then you're going to feel very sad.
But it would not be really logical for Mini to try to do a proxy 2 gate, hoping that he would blind counter one of the many different openings that Terran could do here. So just to get that out there, because a lot of these games, are played at such a high level in the meta.
Yeah.
And then if you go online, these really obvious counters are there. But there's a whole bunch of variables at play here, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't necessarily try Nexus first and Command Center first in your practice games. That was a sick
This SCV
jump.
is just not going to die. Look at this.
Look how good he is.
By the way, every passing second this SCV is here is a problem.
Yeah, he'll finally get it now. Some cute moves by Flash, though. And immediately, going to the start port right away makes a lot of sense. The thing is, when you go Command Center first, you can do everything at once, like getting 2 factories and start port. But obviously, drops can be really, really strong here. And like we were talking about, how, the Reaver is really good here, and missile turrets don't cover everything. That makes almost every Pro Terran will go for a Wraith on this map.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, well, if you don't make a shuttle, you're like, that's not even smart, just make a shuttle, You
need a shuttle.
By the way, we just saw Mini go for about the quickest Stargate anyone's ever seen.
Do you think he just wants to go straight into carrier?
Yeah,
just the fastest 2 gate, or 2 Stargates.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, if he does do that, guess what? There is the opportunity for Flash to do a little timing attack here.
Yeah, Flash is going to have to figure out that that's going on. His armory is already on the way. Probably that would be Academy, yep. Because he does need to get that extra scouting done. His SCV was alive long enough that that's about when he needs it. Now, the thing I'm worried about a little bit here for Mini is that he is skipping everything to go into...
I'm sorry, there's no Robo, right?
There is a Robo.
There is one Robo, okay.
With Observer, not Reaver. So
okay.
that's what scares me, because Flash will have a little bit more potential to do a push if there is no other things, right?
But notice
he's
got
dragons.
a shuttle out here.
Yeah.
This is one of the mind games here, is he wants to show a shuttle and say, hey, I'm going Reavers, but he's not. He's a liar.
I think that would have been hilarious if a Wraith had just popped out and then the shuttle dies. It's like, wow, man.
Yeah.
Nothing's going your way.
Mini, when it comes to you and keeping shuttles alive in weird games, it's not,
that is
not good.
So true.
So, again, disguising the lack of Reaver tech is one of the key components to what Mini's trying to do here. But Flash is going to go for a drop here, which may end up spotting what's happening anyways.
Yeah, he did spot this, so he has some Dragoons coming up, a Zealot here as well.
You know what would help in holding this off?
That's a Corsair.
Whoa!
Did you see that Corsair?
Whoa! Is he going to go for D-Web?
No, I think he's going Carrier, but he might have just gotten the Corsair to get rid of the dropship. Because right now you won't have Goliaths. You're not going to make Goliaths this early.
Can you imagine a world, though, where Disruption Web was being used?
That would be so sick and so cool.
I mean, he would lose, but that would be so cool.
You know, I saw one practice game a few months ago where Shuttle literally just went D-Web when he got scouted on 2-base Carrier, and he went D-Web into gateway units.
So smart.
It was a cool game. He lost, but it was like.
But think about it too. It's like, how often do Terrans really get to deal with D-Web? You know,
it's rare. It lasts a startlingly long time.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you just go Master Goons and D-Web, have observers there.
Yeah.
You tank siege up, you just spam down D-Web, and the Dragoons just move forward and kill everything.
Wow, did you see that Corsair not wanting to fire? What was that all about? God, that doesn't actually feel right. That Corsair missed like 3 shots. It just sat there.
It was also one of the rare moments where you, me, and the rest of the viewers got to see a Wraith and a Corsair fight.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
Okay, so of course, showing that one Corsair, you know that Stargate Tech's on the way. There's no mystery about this. Now, Flash knows that Stargate Tech is coming. It can't be attacked right away. It's quite different from when you see, for instance, the Mutas hatch.
Yeah.
In any game with Zerg, where suddenly the Mutas are out, they're fast, and the action begins. You have to increment out many, many, many more carriers before you're actually able to really flex your muscle as the Protoss. So I'm a little bit worried here. I feel like Flash has played a clean, straightforward game. He has no deficits. Mini is playing one of the crazier, riskier strategies you can do as Protoss, and Flash has pretty quickly identified what's happening. Generally speaking, a Protoss can die to a timing push in moments like this.
Now, he did take a 3rd base, Flash did, and he made a science facility. So this points towards he wants to hit 2-1 to win this game. And just overwhelm with 3 base against 2, basically. So it seems like that, if that's what he wants to do, all he has to do right now is kind of fend off whatever Mini does for the next, couple of minutes.
There's some skirmish going on over here. Oh, looks like he's going to come back, though, now that he realizes that there's going to be a dropship headed down here. The push is going to continue here from Flash. Oh, not bad. Okay, so he's going to... Oh, my God, the dropship went somehow.
Yeah,
okay, well, he
I'm
chased
surprised
it out.
at that, but look at this push coming down. Oh, my God, I guess he's not even going to wait. He's just going to go.
Well, I think he's just realizing how flimsy what Mini did was. And he's just looking for ground.
Yeah, he's got good ground. That's for sure.
Almost 8 interceptors in both carriers, important to note. Something that can easily be overlooked because you'll just see the carriers out. It's like they don't actually have that enough to really fight with.
They have a decent amount now, but as the Goliaths are coming out, I mean, that Goliath count's getting pretty big. You're not going to be able to just attack that with your carriers, that's for sure. You got to be careful about giving the Terran too much ground here as well. Like, they don't want to overcommit because then they might get surrounded or something, but like where Flash is standing right now, he's kind of in control. He can react to where the Protoss is moving, and it's a very short rush distance. Look at where Mini took his 3rd. Wow.
Sometimes you can do that if you're going carriers, is actually expand towards the Terran. Because a lot of times you want to have your carriers both fighting at them and kind of able to defend. You see, if he expanded to the bottom, for instance, vultures and stuff like that can run down there and hit that. The carriers are in a weird position. So
actually, that's something Reach used to do sometimes, is play like this.
Yeah.
Where he's like, no, I'm going to muscle you.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like,
well,
yeah, you might be able to.
He's like, meet me in the middle of the map, bro, after school.
Yeah.
By the willow tree.
All right, well, these Dragoons, that's a lot of siege tanks.
The shuttle has nothing inside of it. He was like, target me instead of the carriers, and Flash is like, I am the best player in the world, and you never had a Reaver. I'll get that when it's leaving.
Yeah. Oh, that went well for Flash.
Then now you see Protoss back off, but a lot of interceptors were killed, and this is basically Flash in about as clean of a fashion as you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Getting more and more and more and more ahead. He's basically out-expanding, pushing in, out-teching, out-upgrading. I mean, it's very hard to emphasize the insane lead that Flash has now, and he's also in a very neat fashion just cleaning this game up.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to miss any beats. He is going to just chase down whatever ground army's here. He knows that will not be replenished. Oh, he decides to back off, saying, you've gone far enough.
Yeah.
You can have one of my bases for free. I will have game 3.
Well, he has so much at this point. It's like if that army is missing, Flash's army is going to go untouched. There's just not enough. He's got 4 carriers, but there's enough Goliaths now.
Oh my God, did he just not attack it? Okay.
Maybe he's coming back because he realizes he's going to be dead.
Poor Mini's got to make cannons to try to hit the mines that are planted where the nexuses would be.
Oh, breaking my heart, man.
Okay. He's got, what, 5 carriers? I think that's 5 carriers.
That's 5, right.
Lucky 5.
All right, let's see if he can do something. I mean, 5 carriers on high ground here is no laughing matter.
Okay, going for the vessel.
I didn't check. What
EMP,
upgrades are we on?
EMP.
Wow, sick. I can't believe he got EMP.
He should have +1 or 2-1, I think, right?
He should have +2 right about now. Yeah, so he does. Okay, there it is.
The game plan here is that the Goliaths, if the math is correct here for Flash, should just take out every single interceptor. And then you basically have these flying blimp boys instead of carriers.
Blimp boys.
You have a couple of blimp boys, and they're not going to save you.
Rather have a cape boy
Even
at
if you had cape boys at that point in time, it's like they're not going to be able to cover the blimp boys.
And this counterattack is pretty decent. He killed the 4th base, and the 3rd base is under fire. You know what? Like, Mini's, I like Mini's idea here. It isn't going to work, but...
No, he's not a bad player at all. You can see that he's quite good, but...
Yeah, Mini is a super good player. It's just he's playing against the actual best.
Yeah, look at this. So there's like, what, less interceptors than there are Goliaths at this point in time. Once Flash gets the rest of his army onto the high ground, it's basically checkmate. I mean, all the key tech is in the bottom right. I'm sure there's some significant structures over here above this, but they're both going to be taken out by Flash. There are games where the Protoss can be retreating constantly while building a carrier fleet. I don't believe this is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Nothing left here for Mini. He's got one Nexus is finished.
GG.
Well, that was one-sided.
And carrier saying, sorry, I got an American football game I got to fly over.
Truthfully, I looked at this as his biggest roadblock because Mini is a Protoss that can be very aggressive and very scary in ENT. Yeah. But the ease with which Flash just rolled through him. Now he plays Shuttle next, who I don't think anyone looks at as dangerous in this matchup, but he's still very good. And then from there, it's a versus Terran or versus Zerg finals. I mean, this is Flash's tournament to lose right now.
Well, congratulations to Flash. I feel for Mini, you know, this guy does wear his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
That's rough. He did put a lot of prep into this. You could see on the edges of the game, he is a good player, but it's what are you going to do? You're against the greatest gamer of all time. Flash has no intentions of slowing that down, of stopping that.
Nope.
And after, you know, losing in the previous ASL, Flash is hungry to come back here and reclaim his dominance.
Indeed he is. Looking just tip-top form tonight. Nearly flawless play, really, when you think about it. Like, yeah, Reaver build killed a bunch of SCVs in game 2, but he almost didn't ever take damage at any point other than that. He, like, literally wasn't even taking damage in these games.
So crazy. We're going to have a quick interview.
ASL 시즌 6 마지막 남은 4강의 한 자리를 차지할 선수가 드디어 결정됐습니다. 무결점의 경기를 보여준
Young says the last semi-finalist is here with flawless play. It's Flash. Congratulations. He says thank you.
타투스의 수장 변현재 선수의 그 어떤 전략도 이영호 선수에겐 통하지 않았습니다. 이 지난 시즌 이 4강에 오늘 경기 조금 더 뜻깊으실 것 같은데요. 어떠세요?
예, 일단
You got your revenge. You're now here in the semi-finals. How do you feel?
하게 돼서 너무 기쁘고요. 토스전 저번 시즌 떨어지고
First of all, I'm very happy to secure my seat for the next season of the ASL. Last time I was eliminated by Protoss.
그런 논란을 오늘 없앤 것 같아서
I'm happy with my performance today, and I think I've improved on any deficits I had previously. This was not easy for me, though I prepped very hard. Higgins says Mini has got a big reputation behind him for his unexpected play. Who helped you prep to take on someone like Mini? He says Rain, Snow, and Bess, and everybody else helped me prep.
오늘 경기가 어렵지 않았어요. 덕분에 쉬웠어요.
Without them, I would not have been able to do it.
가장 또 중요한
So I want to say
세트
thank you
중에
to all those
하나이잖아요.
players.
예, 실피드에서 더블 렉서스 어느 정도 좀
Let's talk about your game on Silpit.
예, 좀 예상은 해 보셨습니까?
Mini went for a fast Nexus. Were you anticipating he was going to do that?
오기 전에 윤철이가 계속
Yeah, before I got to the studio, Snow
생더블을 1경기 할 것 같다고 자기 생각에는
Snow mentioned that there's a high chance he might go for
저는 안
quick
할 줄 알았어요.
2
1경기에
Nexus.
하면 사실 치즈러시는 전 무조건 가기 때문에
I wasn't totally sure he was going to do it.
저도 뚫는다는 자신감으로 치즈러시해서 이겼네.
예, 그리고 이 두
But when I
번째
spotted he was
세트,
going to go for that,
아주 뭐 평범한 그런 경기
I
운영을
knew what I needed to do
하는
once I saw it.
선수 상대로의 그 경기를 치른 것이 아니라 약간 그런 좀
So from there, you seem to be approaching the game in a more standard fashion.
캐리어를 상대할 수밖에 없었는데
Reaver carrier
최근에 이에 대한
composition.
그 연습은 많이 하셨죠?
예, 엄청 많이 하고 왔고 근데
I'm sorry, you must have had to prep hard to try to combat that
저도
unit
하면서
type.
당황했고
Yes, I did prep a lot for that.
보니까
I didn't expect him to do that on Circuit Breaker,
터져
though.
있었던 건데 제가 엄청 불리했는데 투리버가 아무것도 못하고 잡혀져가지고 상대가 다행히 역전승.
I think I was pretty behind, but once I killed those 2 Reavers, I knew I was in good
빠른
shape.
캐리어를 준비했고 본인은 또 이 빠른 드랍십을 통한 그런 벌처 견제를
And from there, I just knew I had the games.
근데 이게
So you
현재를
said-
무시하는 게 아니고
sorry, hold on a second.
현재를 제가 무서워하는 이유는 속업 셔틀이거든요. 근데 그게
He's saying he does not look down on Mini at all. I think he's a great player.
오, 그만큼 또 캐리어에 대한
I just knew if I had to hold off speed shuttles, and I should be fine.
제 선수가
And I knew that if I got to a later part of the game, I'd be fine.
못했다라고 말씀을 하셨는데
So
오늘
you're
이용호 선수 정말
saying-
대단했습니다.
네. 그만큼 이영호 선수가 변현재 선수의
Many didn't show his normal
강점과
style
약점을 제대로
today.
좀 파악을 하고 경기에
Yes,
임하지
that's what I
않았다는 생각이
meant.
드는데요. 다음 4강 경기는 김윤중 선수입니다.
So in the
김윤중
next
선수가
match, you're up
말하기를
against Shuttle,
테라는 하나도 어렵지
another Protoss
않은데
player.
이영호 선수는 너무 어렵다라고 또 한
When
번
you had
약한
an interview
모습을
with Shuttle,
보였거든요.
you
근데
said he
그렇게
wasn't
약한 모습을
afraid to
보여주고
face any
이렇게
Terran
4강까지
except
올라온
for
선수이기
you.
때문에 이영호 선수 입장에서도 결코 좀 방심할
But he's
수는
also
없을
always
것
complaining
같아요.
about that in interviews.
예, 방심할 수
He still
없는
made it to the
상대이고
semifinals anyways. What's your take on him as a player?
했는데 그 생더블을 10연속 하더라고요. 그래서
He's a good player. I definitely shouldn't drop my guard.
좀 화냈던 기억이 있는데 이번 대회에도 근데 생더블을 성공해도 제가 더 많이 이겼거든요.
But he's also been opening up with double
네.
Nexus a lot, and he actually did against me, and he beat me with it.
김윤준 선수 또 캐리어 잘 쓰니까 맞춤 대응 잘해서.
Shuttle's a good player. He's also great with
이영호
carriers as
선수
well.
같은 경우에는 4강
So I'm going to be sure not to drop my guard at all.
생각을 하고 계실 것 같아요. 지금 ASL 시즌 6 4강의 대진이 우승 커리어를 가진 선수들의 모임이 됐습니다.
So
이영호
ASL
선수
season 6
입장에서는 좀더
semifinals
큰
is
자극제가 되지 않을까 하는 생각도 드는데요.
has all former champions in it. That must be very motivating for you. Yes.
또 하면 재미있을 것 같고 어떻게 하다 보니까
There's a big rivalry with me and the rest of the other 3 players up there.
결승 때는 어떻게 될지 모르겠지만 만나게
I keep
되더라도 저는 항상
facing. Did you catch
제
that?
플레이하면 저는
No.
누가 됐든
I guess he's just facing
그래도
other old
지구에서
pro
제일 대단하다고
gamers.
생각하기 때문에
I've always got this mindset.
그냥 제 플레이만
On this
잘할 수
planet, I am the
있으면
very best.
올라갑니다.
So as long as I can play good games,
이영호
I'm
선수의
very confident I
말처럼
can win.
지구에서 가장 잘한다고 이영호 선수를
Well,
생각하는 팬들에게도
accurate.
한마디 부탁드립니다.
예, 저번 16강 때 사실
So you're saying the best in the world? Would your fans say the same thing? And do you have anything to say to your fans? The last season, I wasn't able to show the kind of games, and I'm sure I disappointed a lot of you guys. If you guys are worried about me, you don't need to worry anymore.
결과가 너무 좋게 나타나서
I have, though, been having some small problems in my wrist and my shoulder,
시즌을 또 나갈 수 있을지 이건 잘 모르겠는데
but I'm really glad I could show some awesome games.
팬들 생각하면서 꼭 좋은 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
But I'm not sure how much longer I can keep playing. I'm not sure about next season, but every game, I'm going to do my best to show some awesome games.
기대하겠습니다. 인터뷰 고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
Thank you for the interview. And there it is, Zartosis. Another wrist
자,
bites
이렇게
dust.
해서 ASL 시즌 6의
It's not just
마지막
tasteless
4강
anymore.
진출자 이영호 선수와
It's
함께했습니다.
me, Last, and Flash, man. We all got something in common, man.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all great gamers.
That's champions even.
Champions, as they would say. Okay, so that's it, guys. Sorry, no game 4, no game 3, no fireworks, no refunds.
Look, he's almost got a frown in the first 2 sets, and the third set's even more of a frown.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe I had to play 3 sets.
He's like,
here.
you're horrible. uninstalled the game immediately. It's like, damn, man, I'm Mini. I'm like so good. I'm so talented, but I got 0-3'd.
His level is so crazy. It just doesn't even compute. I wish we had better words to describe him.
What reality am I in? We get to have Last versus Effort in the Final Four. That's going to be so cool, man.
That's going to be a great match. I can't wait. There's so many Last TVZs out there.
Yeah.
Effort has a lot of information to prepare for this.
Effort is good. I know the people that have just recently been watching StarCraft 1 might not be as familiar with him. This guy is a killer.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, and look at that. They turned into Shuttle and Flash.
Oh, my gosh.
They're shapeshifters.
No.
So that means that Effort is Flash or Flash is Effort. Shuttle Last, I never expected that shape-shifting combo.
No.
Imagine your Last where you can turn into Shuttle for a little bit.
He was going to turn into Flash, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, he turned into Shuttle. That was a big twist.
Yeah.
So that's going to be their semifinal. Shuttle and Flash. Hey, man, I think Shuttle can do it. Shuttle's a smart guy. I mean, Flash should win, right? But don't count these other top players out.
The thing is, I think that Shuttle folds less under pressure than his opponent. By the way, the finals.
It's at Yonsei University.
Oh, sick. We've had one there before, actually.
Yeah, and it was
great
a
venue.
Great finals last time. That was for Flash vs. C, I believe. We had that there.
I thought that was TY versus Zest in GSL, was it not?
Moving on. That is going to be at Shinshan Station on the Green Line, line number 2. That's a great area. You guys can have some great games, and then you can go party in Shinshan. That's a fun college town in Seoul.
It's right near where the KSL studio is,
right.
which, by the way, starts in 2 days.
What? You heard him right. More StarCraft 1 every Thursday, Friday. Yes.
Well, this has been, it's been something tasteless, but it's over now.
3-0.
Yeah. Pretty
what time is it? Well, we were on air for an hour and 20 minutes. That's what happens when Flash plays a top-tier Protoss. He 3-0s him.
Yeah.
Let's also remember, Mini even stayed in one of those games longer after he was dead. Game 2 was done for a little bit there. So you do not want to miss either of our semifinals. And this is going to be the last ASL, at least for this year. We have many more plans here at AfreecaTV for 2019. But you don't want to miss that. Can Flash come back and reassert himself as the best player in the world? It's looking like it, but these are all great players here.
Yeah, they're very, very strong. So Flash has his work cut out for him.
Yeah.
But we'll see next week. I'm excited about it.
You know what? Me too.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
That'll be fun. Unless you just 3-0 Shuttle like this, I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Like, Flash, maybe you should retire. This is getting
And then he goes up against Last, and he just 4-0s him there, and we're like, okay. Oh, wait, ASL finals are best of 5, right?
Best of 5.
Best of 5, excuse me. Getting mixed up. We have so much casting, so many different tournaments we're doing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's going to be fun. Who do you think is going to win with Effort versus Last?
I think Last will take it.
I think so, right?
Well,
if he beat Jaedong that
Jaedong,
handedly.
The thing is, the maps are different here, and Effort has a lot to prepare with. So I'm not counting Effort out.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm kind of feeling a Flash 3-0 or 3-1 against Last in the finals is basically how I think it's going to end up.
It's hard to imagine Flash losing a TVT. It's really, really hard. And
it's
then
like trying
losing
to.
it.
You ever do that thing when you're a kid, like try to imagine nothing? You're like,
Well,
no, you're just imagining like black space or something. It's like that's not actually nothing.
Yeah. It's
try to
just like,
imagine Finney. Yeah, you can't actually do it.
Yeah.
Try to imagine Flash losing to another Terran player.
I can't.
Oh no, it's not gonna happen. But Sharp recently. Shut up. Everyone loses a game now and then.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a best of 5. God, you're so annoying.
Well, it's good to have Remastered back. This is nice.
It's good to have Remastered for the first time. It's good to have StarCraft 1
back. It's good to have StarCraft
back.
1 back.
Yes.
My bad, guys.
God.
I don't know. Are we able to close now?
Dude, it's over, man.
That song
We're
can only
basically
mean one
Mini
thing.
right now, Tasus. We got to just leave the cast.
We don't have any interceptors left in our carriers. Guys, thank you for joining us. We will see you Sunday.
No, we'll see him in 2 days in KSL.
2 days in the KSL. We'll also be back on Sunday for the next ASL day. Bye-bye.
Feel me now.